Welcome to another week of No Cap. We're here with the panel and the host, Sol. How are you?
Good. It's the same week. We've done about 4 podcasts the same week. Did you forget?
No.
This podcast is proudly sponsored by Body Envy Massage, Sydney's #1 mobile massage service for your remedial, sports, pregnancy, and not private. There's no privates. We're professional here. Message or DM Benny. Benny, where can they DM you at?
I take DMs on Instagram.
Can they find you anywhere else?
We've got a website, we've got Facebook, and that is about it.
Well done. Thanks, Benny.
No worries, Sol.
Jacob, how are you?
Hey boys, good to be here. Great massage service from Body Envy Massage, great company.
5 stars? You'd give it 5?
Yeah, I'd give them 5 stars. There's a reason why they're on the up, so well done Benny, mate, and hopefully it keeps going for you, mate.
Alright, hopefully we can contribute. I don't know if we can, but we'll try.
Let's try.
Wow, what a game yesterday. We bloody underestimated it, didn't we? I mean,
not really.
sorry?
I kind of felt that coming.
Yeah, sorry, I got your predictions written here. You think
24-12.
yeah. I'm just trying to clarify where you were close. Where were you close? Mate, Jacob went 36-16, he was still underwhelming. It was still put together, it was still unders.
Yeah. Unreal.
Unbelievable.
Such a unexpected performance. A lot of people wouldn't have imagined that to happen. I think a lot of people were sort of, questioning whether New South Wales picked the right team. 1 to 5, they were great.
Yeah.
Like on paper before the game, everyone was like,
course.
yeah, 100%. But just that Jerome Luai selection, his first ever Origin, and as we know, Origin's a different arena, so like people sort of had their doubts on how he'd, perform, and mate, like that performance that he put and the whole team, if they can keep that, like you got to remember him and Cleary are only 23, 24 years old.
Scary.
They can be the halves for the next 8 to 10 years, and that'll be massive for the Blues. And the way that they played yesterday was unbelievable. 1 to 17, great performance. Tommy Turbo, Latrell, just did their own thing, and that's because those halves gave him early ball and just said, "Do what you want," and it was unreal. Great game to watch.
We're talking about it. 1 minute you saw Latrell on the left, and then next minute you saw Tom on the left. It's like these guys were moving constantly all game. Like they could not catch him, Queensland, at all.
And for Tommy, like that's normal for him because he's a fullback. He's always roaming around the field.
Yeah.
But for Queensland, they wouldn't have expected that.
Nah.
Because they've got Teddy that's supposed to be doing all of that, and now they've got Tommy doing it too. It was just. Yeah, it was unreal. So good to watch and so entertaining to watch.
I don't think one Queensland player outplayed a New South Wales player. 1 to 17. Like if you go through each player, not one Queenslander performed better than their New South Wales counterparts.
Well, yeah, of course. That's because the Blues didn't let them.
Unbelievable. Off the bat, firstly, and we're talking about Luai, it was reffed like a normal Origin game. Like there you go, they backtracked, you know what I mean? They didn't do the whole crackdown they said they were going to do. They can't. You can't do that in Origin. It becomes a joke then.
You lose the fans.
Yeah, but also, to your point you told me earlier, there wasn't that many head heights, to be honest. There were grub acts.
But that's Origin.
But that's Origin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's not that, it's punches. So, like,
there you
know, take it. It's Origin, everyone accepts it, and everyone moves on.
I'm proud of Nathan Cleary for staying on the field with a swollen cheekbone.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he tried to stay on for as long as he could until the ref sort of told him to get off. But, yeah, Cleary was unreal.
I think the ref told him to go off because Queensland needed a chance. He's just trying to give Queensland a chance.
And, they scored 8 tries and kicked 8 goals. Kicked them all, and obviously that penalty goal to make it 50.
Crazy.
But one thing that stood out for me, and it was right at the start where New South Wales, the first set of the game, so Tedesco catches the ball, takes the hit up because it was a short kick, and by the time he passed it, there was forwards. And then Turbo went, and then Teddy went, and then Turbo went. So Queensland wouldn't have expected that. They would have expected the forwards are going to catch it, so we're just going to get up and bash.
Yeah.
But now they had backs going that are fresh, quick feet at the line, and they were just able to get a roll on. But obviously Isaiah Yeo got pushed back a bit on that last tackle. Yeah. But from there, like New South Wales were just on the front foot, and it was just
that's what it was. And like I'll rewatch the first couple of sets as well. It was deliberate their forwards hardly touched the ball the first 10 minutes. It was all the strength and power of Latrell, Teddy, Turbo, To'o. Even Luai took runs. Cleary took a run. Like, they all got in.
Yeah.
And they put them on the back foot from the start. And their backs, coming out of their own half, they were just doing rescue sets and they couldn't do nothing about it. The forwards could do nothing about it.
And because the Blues were able to move them from side to side, that just allowed their fresh forwards just to roll them through the middle. And that's where a lot
They
of
got
the success
buggered.
came from. Yeah.
They buggered them. It was no tries up to the 17th minute.
Yeah.
But, man, Queensland cracked, man, and they never recovered after that. Also, it's a ruck speed, because even when you heard DCE after the game saying we could not control the ruck, they were on the back foot all the time. It was those runs from Latrell, Tom, especially, Teddy. Like, they could not handle them. They could not control them in the ruck. Therefore, Queensland were just backtracking the whole way. They couldn't recover at all.
Obviously, New South Wales won the first game. What do you think, if you were in Paul Green's shoes, what changes would you make to the Queensland team for Game 2 at Suncorp? Because it is a must-win for Queensland.
Call Inglis back, Falau back, someone. I mean, honestly.
How about Carmichael Hunt?
I'll call him back. Why not? I mean...
Well, they'll get Ponga back, I think, so that'll help them.
We said coming in, their most important... Like, they took away their biggest weapon, their forwards. Because their forwards were buggered. And, like, their backs they're not strong. So they couldn't do anything about it. They need to address the backs. But is Ponga coming in enough? I don't think so.
Well, it's not enough, but it'll help them in the sense that they can probably put Valentine Holmes in the centres. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, initially I thought, when I was putting a Queensland team together, I was saying, why not just play him at centre? Like, Morgan's played there before. Like, anyone can play there, makeshift. Like, our centres are not centres at the moment, they're fullbacks.
Yeah.
But clearly, they weren't playing centre roles. They were playing roaming roles. Like, they figured out a way to get them all involved and not overlap each other. You know, it was crazy. They played Queensland footy, New South Wales. That's Queensland football. That's what we've been used to every time. Slater, Thurston, Cronk, Inglis, all these guys. That's how they played, man, back then. Now we're doing it to them. They've got to find a way to do the same thing because they were just lethargic. They had nothing. They actually had nothing. They didn't even kick the ball to To'o more than once, I think. Like, I thought at least that's a tactic. Do that.
Especially being up against Coates, who's taller swinger.
Who caught it? Like, who got above him? It actually worked, but it only happened once.
Too late, right at the end.
Do you think losing Christian Welsh made an impact early in the game?
Of course, of course it would have. Like, I mean, it took again. That's their power. That's where their strength is.
And it took away a sub.
Yeah.
You know, they only had 3 reserves on the bench.
Then you have. Well, then Ben Hunt
they
never
used the 18th man.
No, because it wasn't a report.
And
it
that
wasn't
was
a foul play.
Yeah, it was a head clash. So they only had 2 forwards coming off the bench, I think, after that. Fodawaker.
They had Fodawaker, they had Sua,
yes. Fodawaker and Sua, and then Brimson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just wasn't their night. Yeah, Cookie, mate. What about Cookie? I thought you didn't rate him at all.
Yeah, he did a pretty good job.
Here we go. So you're going to concede now.
Yeah, I'm going to concede.
Okay. So is there a need to drop him next game?
Let's see how he does at club football first.
So he didn't do enough yesterday for you?
He did just above the average mark.
All right. Do you make any changes to the New South Wales team? Besides Cook?
You can't. Your only change would be your utility, probably change him up. Have a different utility on
instead of Warden.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll probably stick with it.
Oh, man.
The only change, possibly, they might put Cameron Murray to the bench.
But
And bring him on as a middle.
But then how do you got to bring in Crichton in?
That's what I mean.
Yeah, and you got to bring Radley in, right?
You don't have to bring Radley in because Radley's never played Origin.
No, but he's been picked every year, and then something happens.
Yeah, I know.
Let's be honest.
Yeah,
He would want to get him in somehow.
Oh, he's a great player. He's made for Origin.
Yeah.
I reckon if he can't get him in for game 2, get him in for game 3.
I mean, it depends on the result, man. But really, they should stick with this team. They won that emphatically. Go to Suncorp. Suncorp's a different beast, but I don't know if Queensland is up for it, man. It couldn't be better set up for Queensland to win this one.
Yeah.
On the back foot, they've
Both
been
games
embarrassed.
in Queensland.
Going to Suncorp. If they get smashed at Suncorp, man, I don't know. That could be entering the dark ages, honestly, like we did.
Can I ask you a question? Has Penrith played Brisbane at Suncorp yet?
Yep.
Yeah.
Did they win?
Yeah,
What do you mean? Did they win?
barely, obviously.
Barely.
Brisbane played pretty well.
Might have been only 8 points, I think, like 20-12 or.
7 points, I think.
Then it was going to be a high-scoring game 2.
Well, yeah, probably. I mean,
Queensland have sort of been able to understand how New South Wales play. One thing is to understand it. Another thing is to be able to stop it from happening. So it'll be good to see how Queensland come out and try and hold New South Wales out.
well, then again, we've got to wait for suspensions, high tackles, all that. I mean, the crackdown's going to come back this weekend.
Yeah.
So who knows who's going to be available, honestly.
Well, it'll be 2 weeks from this Sunday. So Penrith players, I think only Martin's backing up tomorrow.
Mm.
And then, so that means Penrith only have one game before all their players get picked for Origin again. So
Maybe
you just have to
Luai.
hope
How about Uppy? Is he playing?
Up he'll play because he didn't play yesterday.
Yeah, but yeah, that's always going to be a factor as well. I mean, it was a factor for Papali'i as well. He didn't get to play because he was suspended, I'm pretty sure. So, but yeah, man, biggest margin in Origin history for New South Wales. Obviously, Queensland's biggest loss. So, surely they're on the rebound. I don't see. It might be a bit closer, but if everyone's available for New South Wales, I don't see how they lose game 2. Honestly.
Nah, same. I'm with you.
All right. Before we get into the games this week, I thought, why not? Let's do mid-season grades for every team. Since we're entering the second half of the season, we're going to go from last to first, and we'll try and do like a quick round thing. So
it's
bring up the ladder. It's all right. Oh, you don't have to look it up. I've got it. Obviously, Canterbury last on the ladder, just thanks to the bye.
That'd be an E minus.
I'll give him an E for effort.
Fair enough. That's all right. That'll work.
Ah.
But yeah, they've been disappointing this year. The reason I say that is because I compare it to the side they had last year, and the side they had last year was not as good as the side that they have this year.
Yeah.
But for some reason this year they're not playing as good as they were last year. So it just doesn't make sense. I think a lot of the players probably have a poor attitude because a lot of them will know that they're not re-signed for next year, so they've sort of given up.
Yeah.
But a good player would say, I want to play good. So if this club doesn't want to re-sign me, I've got 15 other clubs that are interested and potentially clubs in England. So,
well, that's what you'd think. But
Yeah.
then again,
Yeah, so-
I mean, yeah, nothing.
no.
I don't know. I kind of disagree. I would have given him an F, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's just there's no hope right now, so you just can't do much at the moment there. What about Brisbane?
So they're obviously a team with a new coach, some new players, some young players coming through. They've obviously let a lot of rookies go.
Oh. I want to give them an F just for that.
Yeah, you know, but just with the team they have, you'd expect them to be a little bit more competitive. So yeah, even them probably an E.
I'd give them a D just because they've shown an slight improvement from last year. Like certain games they've played, like against Penrith, for instance, I thought they showed something, and they showed that there is a hope there. But then you watch the game against the Dragons, you're like, you know, what the hell? Like it's just back to the old Brisbane. Do you disagree at all?
No, I agree. I'm going to give them an F only for the sake that they've lost a fair chunk of their young talent, and the young talent that they have lost and that are
Would they
appearing
have made a difference?
maybe yes,
Okay.
yes, they would have.
Yeah, because you'd have Reece Walsh, but no one knew Reece Walsh before he went to the Warriors. So, but you'd have him playing at fullback. You'd have Fafita playing in the second row.
And you'd have Walker in the half.
You'd
Well,
have
according
Walker.
to Kevy, Sam Walker's a fullback, and Reece Walsh's not ready for NRL. Anyway,
Oh well.
good luck. Newcastle. For me, Newcastle's an F, man.
Yeah.
F.
Very disappointing. Very disappointing. They're meant to be a team that's sort of put it together now, and unfortunately they haven't. I know they've had a bit of their sort of on-field dramas maybe early in the year with Mitchell Pearce and Fitzgibbon, I think it was, with everything that happened there might have caused a bit of a rift within the club. But they have a team that should be competing for that top 8, definitely. Like they were able to do it last year. This year's been a bit more disrupted.
Still, I wouldn't expect
yeah.
them to be third last.
No way. So they have been a little disappointing. But I guess they have the bye in hand, which will probably put them back up a few spots.
Yeah, there is a few teams on 10, but yeah, I mean, it is tough then again to say. I just realised everyone's on 10, so but still, they really should be in the 8 at this point. You know, everyone probably picked them to be in the 8. Yeah, Ponga not being there hasn't helped the cause.
Yep.
Pearce as well, obviously. But they've still got a strong forward pack. So, you know, I thought there was hope after they beat Manly. But then they come against Para and they just got walloped, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely whacked. So, I don't know. Do you disagree?
Yeah, F seems like a fair grading for Newcastle. The forwards that they have and the playmakers and the fullback and the spine that they have, like, their scrum half is doing a lot of work in defence and is getting recognised for it. But
are we playing rugby union? Who's the scrum half?
What about the flanker? What's he doing?
Who's playing, cuz?
the hooker.
Ah, Brayley, yeah.
Yeah.
Scrum half.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, you got a young player like Jaden Brayley getting recognition. You got young talent like Kalen Ponga on big money, not to mention what his contract is. You got Pearce. You got even though he's injured.
Yeah, they haven't, but the spine's been disrupted.
You've got big forwards.
Okay, I get that.
They recruited well, but like the F is literally because they're not in the 8 with that forward pack.
They've got no direction.
No one's
man.
expecting them to be in the top 4, but we're expecting them to
you're right.
hover around that.
Yeah. Well,
8.
look, they're not out of it. They're only 2 points off, so you never know, man. You never know. Canberra.
Yeah, they've been disappointing as well.
Yeah, they're a D.
It obviously seems like they're another club with in-house problems. You know, 2019 they made the grand final. Last year they prelim. You know, people thought that this year would be that like you'd have them as a top 4 contender, but I think, you know, the George Williams drama going on, the Curtis Scott dramas, their fullback being out, Papali being on and off, not being in his best form, and yeah, there's a lot going on inside that we don't know about, and it's really affected their performance on the field.
Well, now Curtis Scott, obviously, so he's got an incident as well, so it doesn't help the cause.
This is his second or third incident?
Second with Canberra.
Yeah, so
but the first one wasn't his fault.
Yeah, it is what it is. But with him, but again, they're not out of it. But again, do you see any hope for them?
Canberra, look, their halfback's gone. Does that solve the problem in the way that they can now just focus on the task at hand? I'm not sure. Obviously, he's got a lot of close friends in that club. Could they be disappointed with the way everything panned out? Possibly, and if it did, like, you got to remember these players are senior players. For example, Hodgson and Whitehead, they're senior players in the club, and if they're not happy, that could then reflect back onto the players. But I don't know, they're professionals, they're athletes. They should be able to sort of put that behind them and just understand that, you know, you go through 4 months of pre-season, and you're not just going to let it go just because, you know, stuff like that's happened. So just put it behind you, get out there, you get paid to play footy. Go out and just play your best footy, and if they can string a few wins together, mate, they'll be back in the 8 for sure.
Gold Coast.
He didn't give you a grading.
For Canberra, probably a D+.
I think we all said D. Yeah.
D?
What did you say?
I'll give him a D.
Gold Coast. I'd give him a D, to be honest, bro.
Yeah, another one.
Yeah.
You know, they picked up Fafita, they picked up Tino, and they were also meant to be another club that everyone was sort of excited about.
Should be breaking into the 8.
You know, with Fogarty, who's now become a sort of established half within the game, and Taylor improving from where he was a few years ago, and Brimson at the back. They've got a good team. You know, they're probably a few missing pieces, but they've got a strong team, and there's no reason that the Cowboys should be in the 8 and they shouldn't. Do you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
they've got a better team than the Cowboys, but full credit to the Cowboys for being in the 8. But just
judging on them this year, I mean, they showed something against the Melbourne Storm without key players against a pretty formidable Melbourne team, even though they were missing some players for Origin. But again, their defense is just non-existent. You know, in periods of games, like I don't understand. Like, there were a few games where they were up by 20-something, and they just give it up, and they just let teams roll through them in the second half. It's just not NRL level defense, man. And I don't think they've still got to learn that, man. Unless they can get a solid defense, because they got the attack.
It's like that game against the Rabbitohs.
That's the one I'm talking
Yeah.
about, yeah. And, yeah, like, unless their defense improves, I don't see them making the 8.
Yeah, I agree with you. And they've recruited well, and D wouldn't be a bad grading for them.
All right, West Tigers.
I'm gonna give them a C just for being competitive. They
Are you
didn't-
like? Are you
they
just?
didn't over
Oh, sorry. Can I just? Are you just saying like C and then just like something that goes with C, like competitive, E for effort? Is that your thing?
I'm just gonna make it my thing for this.
Are you doing it? You're not doing it deliberately.
No, I haven't
I'm
done it
just
for all
thinking
the
it's
teams.
pretty
I've
good.
just done it for a
Ah, it's pretty good.
Tigers are probably the most inconsistent team in the comp. 1 week
That's the
they
one.
win, 1 week they lose, and they beat Penrith yesterday, and not last week, sorry, and I don't know.
Counts.
But then they got
According to
Parra this
Benny.
week. If they beat Parra this week, I'll start to take this club a bit more serious because they got a decent team.
Look, man. The
Like,
thing, yeah,
Laurie
they
at
do.
the back is unbelievable.
No, they do.
They
have
got
good
a
team.
decent team.
But again, they could beat Parramatta this week, and then
Lose
who do they
4
got
in a
next
row.
week? Oh, they got Melbourne. Sorry, that just killed the whole thing.
Melbourne, then Rabbitohs.
Then they got Rabbitohs. Yeah, then they got the bye. Mate, if they they'll probably lose to the bye. I mean, that's the kind of team they are.
Yeah.
That's a tough run, Parramatta, Melbourne Souths. Yeah, I don't know about that one. But anyway, yeah, Tigers, you're saying.
Yeah, see, they're doing okay. They'll hover around the 9 and probably finish either 9 or 10.
Yeah, it wasn't looking good for them before, but yeah, again, these teams are in the same category, to be honest. Like, even we move on to Cronulla. What do you say? C,
Look,
D? Like, I mean,
Look, you'd give them a C plus just because of their circumstances, and it's not the players' fault, like totally, but the club board should have not let John Morris go that quickly. Like, tell him, look, just finish out the year, and
but they went behind his back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would have been tough
And-
to stay there, and then like, how does he trust the board after that? Can't do much there. They did wrong by him, just not being honest up front with him. That's it.
And that had a massive impact on the playing group.
Yeah, for the next couple of weeks. But they look like they're coming out of that saga. They seem okay, but again, do I expect them to make the 8 in the end? Probably not. But you never know, man. Injuries, suspensions, you never know.
it's a long year.
It is. Warriors, bro. I'd say, you know what? I'll give them a B, man.
Yeah, good on them.
I like the Warriors, man.
They've had to relocate away from their families and everything, so they're doing well. They're one of those teams. They're entertaining to watch. You don't know what you're going to get, but when they're on, they're on.
Yeah.
And like, why not? I reckon that they could scrape that 8th spot like that. I reckon 7 and 8 are up for grabs for anyone. I think once 6 are sealed.
Yeah.
But 7 and 8 up for grabs.
Look, I just like the way they play, man. They play with no fear. They're always
brave,
in.
they're brilliant.
They're not brilliant. I wouldn't say they're brilliant, mate, but they're brave. But I just like the unpredictability. That's what they're all about, the Warriors. That's when they're really good. And they've been in a lot of games, man. They've just won. They've just lost. They've been pretty good to watch. What do you think?
I like how their new young kids bought some flair. Their mid-year recruit.
Reece Walsh, yeah, he's been good. Suspended this week, though, so unfortunately. So RTS back at the back.
Who are they playing this week?
They are playing the Melbourne Storm.
Central Coast.
Good luck.
Home game.
It's not really a home game. Yeah, B. Well, what are you going to give them? C?
No, B.
B. All right, St. George Illawarra. For me, C+. I mean, they're in the 8.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty good effort.
They went on a little streak there that sort of got them into this position.
But they've only won one of their last 7, maybe.
Yeah.
So they've been in a pretty bad rut.
Yeah, so that's why that's that 7th and 8th spot up for grabs. And
Yeah.
you got it now is when obviously it's a bit tricky with Origin and everything, so you got to start being a bit more consistent heading into the back end of the season.
They got a pretty good run, I think.
Yeah.
I think they got a pretty...
Tough game this week for them, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, they go Dogs, Canberra, Warriors, Manly, Gold Coast. So at least 3 out of 5 wins they should. Yeah.
Yeah, Benny, anything to add to the Dragons?
Nah.
Nah, not a fan.
I just don't want to make any comment.
North Queensland. You know what? B minus.
Yeah. Like,
Because I didn't expect them to be here.
no. No.
And they had a really bad start to the season.
They were struggling.
I'll leave it at just a B.
Yeah, they were struggling, and then I don't know what Todd Payton's done, but he's turned it around. And you got to remember, they've had their best player out for most of the year.
Yeah.
He's back this week, but Taumalolo's absence has been, like he's their best player in that club, and for them to still be able to string some wins together, good on them, and they deserve to be here. And I'm happy for Todd Payton as well. So
Yeah.
a lot of people bagging him out at the start of the year, but he's been able to silence the critics, and I hope they can string a few wins together.
Manly, to be honest, without Tom, they're a D.
Which we'll see tomorrow night.
Yeah, so they're a D for me without Tom. But with Tom, they're pushing an A, man, honestly.
Yeah.
Tom's been an A++++ this year.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, I've got to separate him here.
100%.
Because that's the tale of the story this year for Manly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like...
Do you reckon the performance that Cherry Evans put into Queensland, it will impact him when he plays for Manly?
Possibly. You never know. I mean, he even admits Tom... Like, he even admitted yesterday, Tom's another level. Like, he needs Tom. We can't do his thing without Tom. Because it's that impactful to the team.
Just takes a lot of pressure off that.
Of course.
Cherry Evans, yeah.
And he saw him under pressure yesterday.
He had no support.
Nothing.
No,
He had nothing.
Yeah.
He had
Munster
nothing with
didn't
him.
really help
So,
either, yeah.
So who's playing at fullback tomorrow?
Dylan Walker.
yeah, Dylan Walker's back. So,
That's not bad.
yeah, it's pretty bad at the start of the year. But yeah, I mean that's my grade. What do you think? Same, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give him a consistent C.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, sweet. Sydney Roosters. Man, I'll give them a B.
Yeah.
With the plus,
That's for you.
they've lost a lot of talent this year. They've lost their steering wheel. They've lost 2-3 hookers. Sam Verrills comes out. Victor
They still
Radley
done pretty well.
Out,
Yeah, with all these injuries and suspensions they've had.
and they're still managing to pull out wins out of
Their ass.
Yeah,
You can say it.
yeah.
With all these
crazy.
injuries and suspensions they've had, and for them to still be able to not just be competitive, but to blow teams off the park, like they did it about a month ago against Newcastle, the Tigers, like they've just the way they've been able to just put scores on the board, and it's just been unbelievable. Obviously, hiccup a few weeks ago against the Broncos. No one saw that coming. But if any other team, I think, had all those sort of injuries where your 9 had to retire, which is also your captain, your other captain hasn't played a game this year, your 6 has gone down, your winger has gone down.
Any other team would be losing
Radley
every game.
in and out of the squad. It's just
It's a credit.
they've done so well.
Credit to the coaching staff over there because
The whole
everyone's
club,
ready to go up.
Yeah.
Even Sawali, man, he didn't 17. Man, he killed it.
It's just that next man mentality for him. That's how they look at it.
It's them in Melbourne. They've got that same mentality, man.
Yeah.
So they should be thereabouts. If Sam Morgan get a bit of confidence back as well, and I think he will. They'll be up there. South Sydney.
If I was a Roosters fan, I would be proud of the.
Of course, 100% you'd be proud. 100%. South Sydney. I'm not too impressed with them, to be honest. I really thought they'd be first at this point. I thought their squad, like everyone's at the right age, and they should be peaking right now. The Parramatta game was kind of an anomaly because the previous 2 games, or 2 from 3 games, they got belted by almost 50.
Yeah.
Both games, or they
Both
got belted by 50. So I'll be generous. I'll give them a B-. Those 2 performances really put me off them being a proper premiership contender. Like they can handle everyone else, but when it comes to these 2 teams, like I gave them a bit of a pass against Melbourne because they were missing players, but the game against Penrith
Unbelievable.
was poor, man. It was horrible, disgusting. But then again, Wayne Bennett, man, he's known to pull a few tricks out of his fucking sleeve. If they verse him again in the finals, it'll be a close game. You can guarantee that.
Yeah.
So, but just based on up till now, they haven't really impressed me.
Yeah, I wouldn't speak too highly of them at the moment. They have a great side, and they just really haven't been able to sort of show
I
that.
agree with both of you.
Like they are in the top 4, but like you were saying, they should be at least in the top 2.
That's the minimum. Like they're just really on cruise control. So I don't know. Parramatta, your favourite team, Benny. For me, B+. They're a B+ team to me. I mean,
I'll give them a C+.
I just can't wait. I can't wait to hear that. Just they've been a B+ team for the last 3 years.
That's right.
They just you think they're gonna be there, it's coming, and then it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So they're just hanging around there. But just that performance again, before the Newcastle game, those last two performances.
Against the Rabbitohs.
Rabbitohs,
And I think before that was the Warriors.
Yeah. No, they beat the Warriors.
Manly.
That's the game.
The Rabbitohs.
Yeah, they kind of again. It was just like they're going through that patch again.
Yeah.
But they came up against Newcastle, put a lot of doubters on hold for a bit. They got to what?
Bro, I could have put the doubters on hold against Newcastle.
Go, mad cunt. Go. Say, talk now. Go. I'm over being a nice guy now. Go. Tell me why they're a C+ team. I hate Para, but go.
Because they're meant to be literally at first or second competing against Penrith for that top spot. Melbourne shouldn't even be like beating them. No, none of these teams
Melbourne
should be.
lost to them.
Anyway,
Keep going.
Manly should have beat them. South should have beat them. They should literally be belting teams, just like they do with Brisbane Bulldogs and the bottom-ranked teams. They're literally letting these good teams back into the game when they play them.
Can I ask you a question?
They've got the squad. They've got the flashy players. They have the talent. It's just...
Okay, all that. I've had enough. I'm sick of this rubbish you're talking, yeah? Do you even rate them?
Yeah.
No, you don't. No. That's bullshit. You don't even rate Parramatta. You're saying all this. You don't even rate them, cuz. You don't even rate them.
Like, rate them to win the comp?
No, you're talking like you picked them to win the comp. You didn't even pick them to make the 8, man. Stop talking, bro.
They'll probably come 8th.
This guy's unbelievable, man.
What do you mean probably? They're going to finish in the top 4.
You're saying all this, they're meant to be first, they're meant to be this, brother. You haven't even put them in your top 4. You said they'll be lucky to make the top 4.
I tipped them last week.
Oh, God. Sorry, do you have anything to add, Jacob?
Yeah, they just miss that killer punch. I don't know what it is, but it's just always against the top teams.
May come, but I don't know.
Yeah, like when they first Rabbitohs the other week, no one really thought they'd win, and they didn't, and that's just because of the reputation they've sort of brought upon themselves. But they have Penrith, I think, in about 3 or 4 weeks, and that'll be a good test. Because I think it's the game before the boys go into Origin camp, so everyone will be playing. So yeah, we're good.
Going to a proper team as well that apparently is not supposed to be up the top. Melbourne, all right, they're an A for me. Melbourne,
A++.
They've lost a lot of players, a lot of key players. It's been disruptive, their season, but yet players stepping up to the plate. They're easily dispatching teams like it's nothing. There was a bit of a hiccup against Gold Coast. Gold Coast really gave it to them on the weekend. That's probably the first time I've seen them a bit of doubt.
They were missing a few key players.
But that team that I'd seen had been belting other teams the last couple of weeks. So again, I expected them to belt Gold Coast without Fafita, without Brimson.
Yeah.
So they didn't, but again...
To be fair, they were missing their 1, their 6, their 9, their 11, their 12.
But what I've been saying is they've been missing them for how many weeks?
Yeah.
And they've been belting really good teams. Or teams they shouldn't... You think they wouldn't be able to beat or that they'd struggle against. So, yeah, when they get all those players back, I mean, good luck. A++ for you?
Yeah.
What do they do that Parramatta don't?
They just manage.
Even though Parramatta beat them, but tell me.
They managed to step up to the plate week in, week out with young talent, with inexperienced talent, and they built teams. Like Cooper Johns is a young half.
Don't tell me Cooper Johns, bro. Don't tell me Cooper Johns, bro. I could play 5'8".
I wouldn't
you
doubt
could play 5'8". He could play 5'8".
I wouldn't doubt
like,
it.
I don't know. You're making like Cooper Johns around this show, cuz. What's wrong with you? Cuz. Cooper Johns. You had your shot here. You could have said Jerome Hughes. You could have said Nico Hines. You could have said literally Brandon Smith, but you said Cooper Johns. That's enough.
You got to entertain the crowd.
Yeah, it's enough from you. All right, in Penrith, A++.
100%.
I mean, honestly,
little hiccup on the weekend.
But they had
all those boys out.
Yeah, so
that doesn't count.
You saw what happened in Origin and the way their players stepped up. I suppose the whole team did, but like they just gelled so well, and they're going to be so hard to beat.
I mean, yeah.
They have to win it this year. Surely this is the year.
Yeah, and there's no excuse. For me, there's no excuse. As long as they're healthy, there's no excuse for me with Penrith.
Like, they are so much better than last year. And last year they were good.
They were really good last year. Benny?
I agree with everything you guys have said.
Anything you want to add? Because you're a big Penrith fan, remember?
Yeah, I am. I'm super proud of the performance that they've been displaying this year. I'm super happy that they're like killing teams out of the park. Yeah, the talent that they've got on the field right now is very excellent, and the way that they're holding themselves is very good, and the way that they're celebrating and the way that they're getting criticised and it's not affecting them is amazing.
Yeah, they're a young team, and yeah, they're killing it, man. Killing it. All right, that's it. That's the grades. Let's go the games. Round 14. We'll run through these. Manly versus North Queensland. Manly without Tom.
I think Cowboys.
At Lottoland, yeah. I mean, I might go Cowboys too.
Yeah.
Benny? You don't have to look at it. I got you.
I'm going to go with Manly.
Without Tom?
Without Tom.
Okay. Cronulla versus Penrith later that night tomorrow.
I think the
young Cogra.
I think the young fill-ins for Penrith have learned their lesson and they'll beat Cronulla.
It'll be a close game. I'll give it to Penrith just.
Yeah, I'm going to say Sharks. Penrith have too many players out. Saturday,
Gold Coast, Sydney Roosters. Sydney Roosters, James Tedesco is expected to play. For me, it's Sydney Roosters. Easily.
Even though, let's say James Tedesco doesn't play, does that mean they'll put Sawali at fullback?
He'll be in the team.
Possibly, yeah. But then again, it depends if...
They might even put Manu at fullback.
Yeah, they probably put Manu if Walker's back. I think he is back. So they try to not really overexpose the kid, you know. They're giving him a taste. You know, and that's fair, man.
And they did the same with Roger when he first came to the RTS. He started on the wing and then slowly went to fullback when Minichella retired. There
may be that one bye game where they may use him.
Yeah.
So, but who knows? They still probably have a cover anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sydney Roosters. Anyone else going against?
No.
All right. 5:30 Saturday, Rabbitohs Knights.
I think you'll see most of the Rabbitohs boys back up and
most of them,
they'll get the win.
That's it. As long as that happens, I think I'm with you. Benny, anything different?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Rabbitohs.
Yep.
So nothing different.
Saturday night, Canberra versus Brisbane. I've got no confidence in either team here, but I'd expect Canberra to win.
50-50, isn't it? But just Canberra at Canberra, you'd think so.
Carmichael, obviously, you said. Benny?
Yeah, I would like to pick Brisbane because of Carmichael, but I'm going to go with the Raiders.
You'd think, but again, if Brisbane win, I would not be shocked.
It's one of those games, go either way.
Yeah. Warriors, Melbourne Storm. Warriors, I don't know, man. I think Melbourne Storm have to win this one easily.
Too good.
Yeah, no Reece Walsh as well for Warriors. It's going to be tough.
Too good.
Betty, anything you're not going to go against?
No.
All right. Here's one you're going to go against us. Parramatta versus Tigers. I'm going Para. I think they showed a lot last week.
Who are you going to go with?
Para, why not?
I'll pick West Tigers just to be different.
Okay.
Just to be different, or do you believe in the West Tigers? Do you think they've turned the corner?
I believe that Michael Maguire's made a decent change, and their 2 wins are convincing enough to get it over the line.
And game of the round, Bulldogs versus Dragons.
It's on a Monday at
Queen's birthday.
4:00.
Queen's birthday Monday. St. George were very impressive last week. Dufty ran amok. Like I said, if the crackdown's on and the game's reffed the way it is, he'll run another muck. Dragons.
I've picked the Dogs here. I don't know
Fair
why,
enough.
but surely they're due for something, like
Fair
just
enough.
a good performance.
I'm just kind of hoping them at the moment, man.
Yeah, I know. It's tough.
They do get up for these games.
If they don't win this week, then...
I think I remember they beat them in this corresponding game,
Hey,
maybe, or similar game to this last year.
Yeah, it wasn't... Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah, because
it was
the
at
season got
Bankwest.
delayed.
That's right. That was our first win of the
That
year.
was the first.
Yeah.
That could happen.
Yeah.
I don't
Are you
know.
coming to watch? No.
Are you going to the game?
I'll be
you're
for
there
the reserve grade
with
game,
Manny's.
but I'll be packing up and leaving straight after the reserve grade.
Why don't you stick around?
Maybe give them
It's
support
too
and
cold.
hope.
I'm going to use the excuse that it's too cold.
Yeah, fair enough. Dogs? You gonna go dogs as well?
Yes, I'm definitely going Dogs.
All right, sweet.
100%.
All right, that's the games. All
I
right.
reckon DWZ scoring 1 try and setting 1 up.
I hope so. Honestly, I do hope so. Flanagan a chance? No, I don't know.
He's not due back for another 2 weeks.
Thanks, NRL physio. Benny,
It's a
Benny,
flooding rib.
it's time for your segment. Benny
So
Confidential.
my
Firstly, before you go on, Bounties versus Dragons,
yes, they are.
and how they looking?
We're looking good. We've got just 1 player out due to suspension.
Awesome. So confident.
100%.
Awesome. All right.
Dean Madison scoring 2 tries on Monday.
So I put that bet on. If you can on Sportsbet. Is that available on Sportsbet?
No.
He'll make it available. He'll create it.
So
Yeah, Benny. Yeah, back
I
to
got
your.
to see one of the West Tigers greats, the one of their best number 9s this week.
Not the one you're named after.
Nah, the one that I'm named after.
Nah, come
Yeah.
on.
I got to deliver his wines to his apartment in the city. Yeah, it was
No
pretty
way.
cool.
How was it?
It was a thrilling experience.
Yeah, of course. What did you get up to? What did you say? Did you tell him that you're named after him?
Yeah, I did.
Did he get chuffed up about it or what?
Yeah, he gave me a big hug.
Oh, wow.
I got a photo and everything.
Nah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So far, you finally met him. It finally
Yeah.
happened. So will you be delivering more wines to him or?
I hope so.
Yeah, he'll make sure, bro. He'll make sure. Anything else? Any rumors that you've come across? Maybe that we don't know
There is
of?
no rumors that we can review at the moment, but yeah, that's
Nothing.
Just, about
Just
it.
nothing. Not even like a unnamed thing.
There's probably a rumor talks about a former young bulldog coming back from the Super League,
Ah, okay. So,
but
but how sure you reckon?
about 40-60.
46%. All right, that's it.
Yeah, that's
Thanks, Ben. I appreciate that.
No worries.
That was a jam-packed work, boys. I mean, so thanks, boys. I appreciate you doing the hard yards.
Thanks again,
Not
sir.
unlike our research guru who's lost his job.
Sir.
So unfortunately, he just found out.
He's on unpaid leave and no one's heard from him.
We'll give him back his job in a couple of weeks.
Well, he's got to
when we
prove.
return back
Well, he
to
better
office.
come back with a proper rumor or something, man. Honestly.
Something, yeah.
I mean,
I'll find something.
thanks, boys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, sir.
Easy.
Thanks,
All
mate.
right. Enjoy the footy. Thank you.